This is very, very common in charts, right? So this pattern is unbelievably common. And remember, I mean, this is the top I called when I was literally in Dubai at the one of the big Bitcoin conferences, and I was the most unpopular guy in the room because I said, guys, I think we're going to collapse back to 20,000. And well, we know what happened after that 69 high right up here. But my point of showing this is that look at the pattern formation. You have the up move, there's your correction, there's your big push up, then you have your big drop, then you move back up, make a new all-time high, which again stops out the bears that had stops right here. It galvanizes the bulls. They call you crazy if you're calling for a correction because there's new all-time highs. They tell you it's going to 100,000. And then what ends up happening? Well, we know what ended up happening. All the way back down to 15,000 and change.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. Let's join Gareth in this video about Bitcoin and more.
Bitcoin on the PCE data, not seeing much difference here. A little bit of an uptick. Yesterday, look at how it went up and kissed the underbelly of the pivot line right here. You can see, I don't know if you guys can see it, but see the high of yesterday was right here. There's your pivot line, and then it backed off. The biggest thing here for the bulls to be careful of is that, to me, this could be starting to put in a bearish flag pattern, right? So down move inside bar action, and it has the capping of the pivot line. Now, listen, it's not to say that it can't get above the pivot line. Maybe it can, but if it doesn't within a couple days, this bear flag starts to mature, and a mature bear flag has a higher probability of playing out to the downside. And if that happens, you're going down here, right? So your next level here would be back to basically this low right here, which is also the bigger bullish channel on the bigger time frame right down there, around 53,000, 53,500. Okay, so just keep an eye on Bitcoin there. If we look at Ethereum continues to really be disappointing, to be honest. You have, again, here's your pivot line on Ethereum, very clear as day. All of these lows across. Price came up, got rejected, broke below this little consolidation zone. It needs to basically get above these two white trend lines to get any shot at retesting this pivot line. But right now, again, not a good chart on Ethereum. Couple other charts that I've been keeping an eye on crypto here, guys. If we look at Matic is into some pretty solid support here, right here. Notice again this pivot point, which was all these highs right here. And again, it has pushed through that, but it's still right in that range. Then you have this little upslope here as well, which again gives you additional support. If this breaks, goes back to 38 cents, which for me would be an add level right there on Matic. But nonetheless, just something to keep an eye on there. And lastly, we'll look at Solana today. Solana, again, to be honest, not a great chart on Solana. So again, beautiful, by the way, this high pivot, topping tail, double top, and this cool down sloping line. But again, amazing right there. That big fall right here, then the big bounce, pullback, double top. And now it's trying to hold on to this area of support, right? So we have this area right here. If this breaks, it goes all the way back to 120 to 110. This area down here, huge support, by the way. I will be likely a buyer of Solana if it dumps out into this range right down here. All right, going on to gold, guys. We're not going to stop for any commercials today. I'm just powering through. It's a Friday. We all want to get to the weekend, so let's just keep rocking and rolling. But nonetheless, gold today down slightly on the day. I'll tell you, gold has gone to sleep. For the last 2 weeks, there's been very little volatility in gold. From a bullish perspective, that's okay because you could be consolidating in a bullish manner. I always talk about the relative strength index. Bear with me as I bring that up. I want to show you this, guys. This is the only negative I have on gold. And you guys know I'm a huge bull on gold. I'm just changing my colors to make it simpler for you guys. But the only thing that kind of concerns me here is that you have a higher price move like this, but you have the lower RSI, right? So again, that's just a little bit of a concern. Even though you could make a case for bullish consolidation here, it just kind of makes me a little wary on the price of gold that maybe it needs to flush the weak hands out. If it does that, I would be a strong buyer at probably right here, right? I mean, this would be your first major support around 2,400. And if it breaks that, then you start talking about this area right down here around 2290, 2287. But again, we'll see. I mean, the negative divergences on the gold chart, they're not the end all be all. It's just more of like a caution flag. You know what I'm saying, guys? It's not like, oh my goodness, it's going to fall. Like I'm not shorting gold by any stretch here. It's just one of those things to just be aware of. You know, it's basically like not everything is aligning in a bullish manner.
Bitcoin has seen a sharp decline over the past week, losing over 7% of its value. If Bitcoin drops below $56,000, analysts predict a potential further correction, with risks of falling to key support levels around $50,000 or lower. The crypto market is on edge as it awaits the September 6 release of U.S. job data, which could provide critical insights into the Federal Reserve's next move on interest rates. Investors are hoping for signs that could trigger a Bitcoin rally, while analysts debate the likelihood of a 25 or 50 basis point rate cut in September.
S&P daily chart, looking back and comparing 2007. The reason why this is important to me, folks, is because it looks to me more and more like the S&P may want to make a new all-time high briefly and repeat '07, right? So if we look at '07 and compare it to 2024, the current period, it's almost identical. Look at this. I mean, you know, literally we can draw this here. Look at this up move and then down move, 6% correction. In '07, up move, 6% correction, right? And then we had the big bull run here that we had recently to our all-time high. Here we had that big bull run, same thing, to all-time high. Currently, we just came off of that 10% correction. In '07, we had an 11% correction from peak to trough. We then shot back up in '07 like this, and obviously we've shot back up here recently. So again, what we can see is that the charts are replicating that '07 period. And what we know about '07 here, folks, is that if we just drag this here, what did we see? We saw the markets actually put in a brief new all-time high by just a little bit, right? I mean, again, what percentage was this? I didn't even do that yet, but I'm just curious here. If we take that high, it looks like we went above by about 1.3%. So 1.3% to a new high in 2007. And then you guys know the history. I'm sure even if you didn't trade back then, we all know what happened in '07, '08, and into '09, a 66% drop in the stock market. Now, again, if this follows suit, what we should see here is a move to an all-time high, a little bit of a push, which we know what will happen, right? So when, number one, you have a lot of stops for shorts that have been placed right at the high here. So if you break that high, it'll stop out a lot of the bears. It'll also galvanize the bulls, right? So again, it galvanizes the bulls, gets all the bulls on board, decimates the bears, which then enables that next big down move to come in. Now, again, it won't go straight down like this. I mean, you're going to get a little sideways chop, a bounce, and multiple moves, just like over here, right? If we go over here, it didn't go straight down, right? There were bounces along the way, but it was the beginning of a bigger drop. And if I zoom out, this is that same area on the chart right here that we were just talking about, and then you could see what ended up happening after that, with us bottoming out at basically 666, which I still remember that to this very day because I was trading back then, and I still remember the low on the S&P right here was like 666. It was very freaky in that respect, but that's the way the markets work. Sometimes they have a funny sense of humor in that field.
The upcoming U.S. job data release on September 6 is drawing significant attention from cryptocurrency investors, with potential implications for Federal Reserve interest rate decisions. As markets brace for the data, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies may face heightened volatility. The cryptocurrency market is closely watching the upcoming U.S. employment data, as the figures are expected to influence Federal Reserve decisions on interest rates. The market is particularly sensitive to any signs that could sway the central bank's monetary policy. Projections suggest an increase in unemployment to 162,000 for August, with a slight dip in the unemployment rate to 4.2%. These figures will provide crucial insights into the state of the U.S. economy and could impact investor sentiment across financial markets, including cryptocurrencies. In addition to the job data, comments from key Federal Reserve officials like New York Fed President John Williams and Fed Governor Christopher Waller will be pivotal. Their insights may offer clues about future rate cuts, which could either bolster or dampen market optimism. The crypto market has recently experienced significant volatility, with Bitcoin and other major altcoins facing sharp declines. Depending on the job data and Fed commentary, Bitcoin could either stabilize or drop further, with analysts warning of a potential fall to $50,000 if bearish sentiment prevails. However, cooling inflation figures and the possibility of a rate cut in September have introduced some optimism, with a 25 basis point cut seen as likely. Investors should remain vigilant as these economic indicators unfold, as they could significantly impact market sentiment and price movements in the cryptocurrency space. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.